Here's a number that surprises people. The average Social Security check in America this year is about $2,070 a month. That's it. That's what a lot of people are retiring on. One check, no pension, no big nest egg. And if you say that number out loud in most of the country, people wince. $2,000 a month? You'd be counting pennies at the pharmacy. But not everywhere. There are still towns in Michigan, real places with hospitals, with grocery stores, with a downtown you can walk, where that one check covers the whole month. Not enough to barely survive, covers it. I went looking for 10 of them, and I threw out the fluff. For every single town on this list, I pulled the current median home price, the county property tax reality, and this is the one nobody checks, how many minutes you actually are from an emergency room. Because a cheap house means nothing if the nearest hospital is an hour of bad road away. Half of these towns you'll recognize. Half of them you've probably never heard of. And one of those is my number one. The town at number one genuinely surprised me. A Victorian downtown where you can walk to the farmer's market, a full hospital 10 minutes from your door, on a budget most people swear only buys you the middle of nowhere. One quick note before we start, because I want to be completely honest with you. This works if your home is paid off or your rent is modest. $2,000 a month will not cover a fresh mortgage and your groceries and your heating bill. I'll tell you exactly where the budget gets tight and where it breathes easy. Deal? Let's count it down. Let's start with the one everybody pictures when they imagine beautiful Michigan town. Marquette, up on the shore of Lake Superior. 21,000 people, a university, an actual skyline of pine and water, and the best hospital for 200 miles in any direction. UP Health System Marquette, the regional referral center, ER, right in town. So why is the prettiest town on this list sitting at number 10? Because of the lens. The median home in Marquette runs around $340,000. That is not a $2,000 a month town if you're buying in. On the coldest morning in January, the high is around 23 degrees, and the lake effect snow up here is measured in feet, not inches, so your heating bill is real money. Here's the honest verdict. Marquette works on $2,000 a month only if you already own your place outright or you're renting smart. If you're house hunting on a budget, this is the dream you visit, not the one you buy. But the healthcare and the scenery are genuinely 5-star, so I couldn't leave it off. Now, if Marquette was the expensive daydream, this next one flips it completely. Sault Ste. Marie, the locals just say the Sioux, is the oldest town in Michigan, sitting right on the Canadian border where Lake Superior pours down into Lake Huron. And people come from all over just to sit and watch the Sioux-Locks lift 800-foot freighters up and down like bathtub toys. It's free. It's mesmerizing. It's the kind of slow, good entertainment a retirement runs on. The money makes sense here, too. A median home around $200,000 and War Memorial Hospital, now part of My Michigan Health, sits right downtown with a 24-hour ER under 10 minutes from most of town. But I promised you honesty, so here it is. The winters are brutal, and I mean brutal. January highs hover around 18 degrees, and this town gets buried in over 100 inches of snow in a normal year. Your house may be cheap. Your heating bill will fight you for it. If a long, dark, white winter sounds cozy to you, the Sioux is a steal. If it sounds like a sentence, keep watching. Speaking of the UP, here's one that if you've never heard of it, that's kind of the point. Escanaba. 12,000 people live on Little Bay de Noc, and it's the town where everyone in the Central Upper Peninsula actually goes to get things done. The hospital, the shopping, the state fair. That last one matters more than it sounds. The Upper Peninsula State Fair is here. one of the biggest gatherings in the whole northern region, rolls into this little town every year. For a place this size, that's a real pulse. On the numbers, homes run around 180,000, and OSF St. Francis Hospital is right in town with a 24-hour emergency room, a top 100 critical access hospital, which for a town this remote is a genuinely big deal. And remote is the honest catch. The nearest real city is Green Bay, Wisconsin, about 2 hours away. The winters are long and the snow is heavy. Escanaba is for someone who wants quiet, water, and a real hospital nearby, and who won't miss the big city because it isn't coming to visit. Okay, here's one nobody puts on these lists, and I want to know why, because it might be the best kept secret on the whole map. Menominee sits at the very bottom corner of the Upper Peninsula, right where the Menominee River empties into Green Bay. It's twinned with Marquette, Wisconsin, right across the water, so you get 2 towns worth of stores, restaurants, and services out of one small town cost of living. Picture the payoff: a historic downtown waterfront and a marina full of boats, milder than the rest of the UP. January highs around 25, and the snow is real but noticeably gentler than up in Marquette or the Sioux. The money is right where we want it. Homes around 180,000 and property taxes on the lower end for the region. Now, the honest detail, and this is exactly the kind of thing people get wrong on these lists. Menominee does not have its own hospital ER inside the city, but, and this matters, the nearest emergency room, Aurora Medical Center Bay Area, is just across the river in Marquette, only a few minutes drive over the bridge. So you're close. You're just technically crossing a state line to get there. The nearest big airport is Green Bay, about an hour south. For a lot of retirees, that trade, a little town, a big town hospital minutes away, is the whole dream. Let me slow the pace down for this one because Oscoda is a slow-down kind of place. Picture yourself in a chair, a river, the Au Sable, one of the most famous trout streams in the Midwest, sliding right past your feet toward Lake Huron. That's Oscoda. It's small, it's quiet, and it's got the cheapest homes we've seen so far, around $154,000, sometimes well under. For a budget of $2,000 a month, that low entry price is the whole ball game. Own that house outright, and the rest of the month gets very, very comfortable. But here's the honest trade, and I checked this one carefully because it's exactly what gets faked on lists like these. Oscoda itself does not have a full hospital. The nearest emergency room is My Michigan Medical Center in Tawas City, about 20 minutes south. 20 minutes is fine for a lot of people. If you have a condition where minutes matter, be honest with yourself about that number before you fall in love with the river. But if you're healthy and you want the water and the trees and the smallest price tag here, Oscoda is a genuinely lovely, cheap place to grow old. Now we cross the whole state, down to the southwest corner, and I'm going to talk to you like an adult about this one, because Benton Harbor has a reputation. The good part first, and it's genuinely good. This is Lake Michigan, warm water, sandy beach, wine country Lake Michigan. The winters here are the mildest on this entire list. January highs around 30, a fraction of the UP's snow, and the homes are cheap, around $160,000. There's a Lake Michigan beach at Jean Clock Park, vineyards a short drive out, and the Silver Beach Carousel just across the river in St. Joseph. Healthcare's covered too. The full ER is Corwell Health Lakeland in St. Joseph, right next door, about 5 minutes away. But here's the trade-off. Benton Harbor has struggled economically for a long time. There are blighted blocks, there's real poverty, and crime rates run higher than the sleepy lake towns further up this list. The flip side of that is the low prices and a lot of new investment coming into downtown. This is a town on a knife's edge between hidden bargain and be careful which street. Go see it in person, in daylight, before you decide. But for the mild winters and the beach at that price, it earns its spot. All right, let's pick the energy back up, because Muskegon is a beach town, and it doesn't apologize for it. 38,000 people on the shore of Lake Michigan with some of the best public beaches in the state. Marquette Park, Muskegon State Park. This was the lumber queen of the world 150 years ago, and all that old money left behind a real downtown maritime museums and a summer festival calendar that goes off like fireworks. And here's what bumps Muskegon up the list for me: the healthcare. Trinity Health Muskegon. This is a full Level 2 trauma center right in town. For a retiree, that is a serious upgrade over a small critical access hospital. If something big goes wrong, you want a trauma center, and here it's minutes away. The money holds up. Homes around $190,000. A little higher than some, but you're paying for the beach and the hospital. Honest catch: Muskegon has an industrial past, so there are rougher pockets alongside the pretty ones, and it's about 2.5 hours from Detroit if that's where your grandkids are. But for beaches, plus a trauma center on a fixed income, this is a strong option. Now we're into the top 3, and this is where the math starts getting genuinely interesting, because the trade-offs become much clearer. Alpena sits on Lake Huron at Thunder Bay, and it has something nowhere else on this list can claim: a national marine sanctuary. Thunder Bay protects dozens of historic shipwrecks in water so clear you can see them from a kayak. There's a whole museum built around it. And because Alpena's far from big city light, it's ringed by dark sky country, the kind of night sky most people forgot existed. Here's why it's number 3. The homes are affordable, around $190,000, and the hospital is the quiet showstopper. My Michigan Medical Center Alpena isn't just an ER in town. It earned a 5-star federal rating, one of only a handful of hospitals in the entire state to do it, and the only one in Northeast Michigan. On a fixed income, being 10 minutes from a 5-star hospital is worth more than any beach. The honest catch is the same one that haunts the North. The winters are cold and long, and this is a small town. The jobs are healthcare and tourism, so it's better suited to someone already retired than someone still working. But for the budget, the water, and that hospital, Alpena is a quiet knockout. Number 2 is going to make some of you flinch, and I want you to hear me out, because this is exactly the kind of town people write off without checking the numbers. Saginaw. Yes, that's Saginaw. The old industrial river city everybody assumes is just rust. Here's what the assumption misses. The homes here are almost unbelievable for what you get. Median around $130,000. And the healthcare is not small town. Saginaw is a regional medical hub with major hospitals, Covenant Healthcare among them, running full 24-hour ERs and level 2 trauma care. If your body is the thing you're worried about in retirement, Saginaw quietly answers that better than almost anywhere on this list. There's real character too if you look. The Heritage District Victorians, the Riverwalk, a Japanese garden and tea house most people have no idea exists here. I'm not going to sugarcoat the catch because it's real. Saginaw has struggled with crime and blight in parts of the city, and the population has been slowly shrinking. Like Benton Harbor, this is a know-your-neighborhood town. Some blocks are lovely, some you steer around. But if you buy smart in the right pocket, you get big city hospitals and a paid-off house for the price of a nice car. And $2,000 a month covers the rest with room to spare. And that brings us to number 1. The town I told you surprised me. Just up the river from Saginaw, on the water where the Saginaw River meets the bay, Bay City. Here's why it wins, and it's not close under our lens. Start with the price. The median home is around $125,000, the lowest, or near it, on this entire list. Own that outright, and $2,000 a month isn't tight, it's comfortable. Property tax on a house that size in Michigan runs roughly $150 a month. Your heating, your insurance, your groceries, the budget breathes. But cheap is easy. Cheap and lovely is rare. Bay City has a genuinely beautiful, walkable, historic downtown. Victorian buildings from its lumber baron heyday, drawbridges that lift for the boats, a river walk, real restaurants, and a festival calendar that fills the whole summer. You can live here without a car pinned to your hip. And the healthcare closes the deal. McLaren Bay region, right in town, a big hospital with a 24-hour ER and a verified trauma center, full-strength medicine, 10 minutes from that $125,000 house. One honest note, because I owe you consistency. It's a river town, so there's some flood risk in the low downtown blocks, and the winters are proper Michigan winters. But it's 2 hours to Detroit when you want the airport or the grandkids, and it is the rarest thing on this list. A town where the cheap house, the walkable downtown, and the real hospital all show up at the same address. That's why it's number 1. Bay City is the town where $2,000 a month doesn't just survive, it lives. So let's put them all in one place. Here's every town, side by side, on the same 5 scores. Screenshot this one, it's the whole video in a single frame. Look at what the scorecard tells you that a plain list never could. If your knees and your heart are your top worry, your eyes go straight to that healthcare column. Muskegon, Alpena, Saginaw. If you can't take another brutal winter, you skip everything with a low weather score and look south. If you dream of a lake shore and don't care about snow, Marquette and Alpena light up. There's no single best town. There's the best town for you. And now you've got the tool to find it. Quick recap of the shape of it. The UP gives you scenery and cheap homes but makes you pay in winter and distance. The Lake Michigan side gives you mild weather and beaches. And the river cities in the middle, Saginaw and Bay City, quietly hand you the best hospitals and the lowest prices if you're willing to look past an old reputation. Now I want to hear from you because you know these places better than any spreadsheet does. Which one would you pick? And did I get any of them wrong? If you grew up in one of these towns, tell me in the comments what I missed. I read them, and the next video comes straight out of what you tell me. If this helped you picture it, even a little, do me one favor and hit subscribe, because the next one is about towns that still feel like 1985, and you definitely don't want to miss that. 10 towns. Turns out it covers a lot more than people think. I'll see you in the next one.